Welcome everyone. Good evening. It is 7 p.m. local time here in Budapest. As you can see, the sun is about to set along the boardwalk above the boardwalk in Budapest, where we have this 110 Japanese cherry trees in full bloom. Big welcome to Richard. Also big welcome to Janice and to Joan as well. If I happen to butcher any one of yours name, I do apologize. So the plan for today is to walk along the cherry trees to enjoy the sunset. At the same time, for me, to provide you as much visual beauty as possible. This time, as opposed to last year, we are starting our walk from the Fehérvár Bastion. It was a strategic point of the Buda Castle hill for centuries. Currently, as you can see, it has been deconstructed, and hopefully in some shape and form it will be rebuilt. And we are pushing to the north, so we'll have the setting sun always ahead of us. Something a little bit different as opposed to last year's tours when we were walking from north to south. Well, a little bit of cultural bon mons to all of you. Well, the boardwalk, framed by tree lines on the west and on the eastern side as well, was first established in 1720 or in 1723, depending on the source. You may find yourself. This was the first boardwalk on the Buda side, and it started its history as a double line of chestnut trees. Well, obviously, chestnut trees could not survive, 300 years, so they had to be replanted on a regular basis. And the Second World War and the time of socialism and communism didn't help much either. So the current trees being planted by the Metropolitan Gardening Company between 2006 and 2009, and those of the 110 cherry trees that didn't make it this far. Well, they planted new ones during the previous couple of years. So you will see cherry trees of different sizes, and some of the trees do not belong to the same variety. You will see different color Japanese cherry trees as well. It's basically the only weekend when the cherry trees are in full bloom. So it's obviously a ridiculously popular site in Budapest. Basically every second or every third portrait picture that is taken these days in Budapest, taken along this boardwalk. So circling back, 1720, 1723 was the first time when a double tree line was landscaped here. That was the first time when there were talks about eliminating the defense purposes of the defense line, which today is used only to prevent landslides. So it's, as a defense line, it's completely obsolete. Well, the defense purposes, defense purpose of the tree line of the walls continued to be used throughout the 1848-49 uprising, throughout the Second World War as well. Peaceful times like these years, they don't serve as a default. But so first it was the 1720s, just to make sure that I will finish at least one thought, one chain of thought. The idea was that instead of the military purpose, the civilian purpose shall be put in a spotlight, and they designed a semicircular boardwalk along the edge of the Buda Castle hill. Now we are on the western side, and this boardwalk actually continued along the northernmost part of Buda Castle hill, and surprisingly on the eastern side as well. The dominant language back then was German, and the newly designed boardwalk was called Promenade Bastei, or promenade along the bastion. Well, the promenade still exists today, but it is cut into three sections. The one that we are discovering together today is named after a Hungarian poet, after Árpád Tóth. Another Hungarian poet's name is used for the easternmost part, for the Balassi promenade. And well, it's quite popular, so I'm camping out at some of the trees to make sure that while we move away, then we will have a clear sight, and not like hundreds or multiple hundreds of people around. And we are returning to some of the old favorites. So you can compare today's views with the views you could take in 2021, 2022, or even you joined early on Hego in 2020. During the early years of Hego, the building ahead of us, the reconstructed silhouette of the Arthur Joseph Palace was missing, and we could have a clear angle of the formal royal palace today known as the Buda Castle. Although the tree line seems to be a permanent thing, well, the surrounding buildings aren't. Well, this would be a fountain given to Budapest's 100th birthday by the city of Pécs, where the Zsolnay factory happens to be headquartered. The Zsolnays are famous not just for their fountains, but also for their tiles that cover the rooftop of Matthias Church, the National Archives, the brain fog alert people, the Great Market Hall, and the Geographic Institute, and the Postal Savings Bank's roof is also covered by Zsolnay tiles. Let me know with a thumbs up if you like this sunset walk. And should you have any questions, then feel free to grab your keyboard and post it in the chat. Well, thank you, Richard, for your kind words. Also, Janice, for your thumbs up. It was the 1810s when the deconstruction of the defense line came up again. But, you know, here in Hungary, changes happen. It takes quite some time till any changes will happen. So eventually, it was post Second World War times when the walls of the Buda Castle lost their defense purposes. Since the timing of this tour is quite impeccable in terms of the sunset, you can see the setting sun behind the Buda Hills. Namely, that would be János or John with the Elizabeth Lookout Tower. This would be Széchenyi. In my childhood, it was known as Szabadság or Liberty. And we have Sas, that sort of like marks the westernmost part of Budapest. We're looking at west, and then northwest is where the sun is tucking behind the trees. And then the third one, the easternmost hill, is the small and the large Hash, or Acacia in English. The weather is perfect. It feels like summer instead of spring. The outside temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius. A lot of people came here for a sundowner. This is not necessarily the most frequent, frequently chosen spot for a sundowner, but due to the blooming cherry trees, well, the popularity of this spot is, well, inevitable. I mentioned that there are different varieties of Japanese cherry trees, and different varieties are also present along this tree line, hence the different color of the flowers. By the way, the Metropolitan Gardening Company that oversees this tree line as well happens to be the oldest of all metropolitan companies. The gardening company has been founded before the city of Budapest was born as we know today, as after Buda and Pest were merged into one city in 1873. The Metropolitan Gardening Company itself was born in 1867, with the birth of the Austro-Hungarian dual monarchy. And well, one level below us, we have Christina town, named after Maria Theresia's favorite daughter. with an amazing number of people taking their portrait shots uh, these days. So likely this will be our only chance to walk the line. I don't really expect the flowers to still be on the branches mid next week when I'll have another chance to return here. So today's walk really belongs on the shelf of the Budapest Limited Series. So as I briefly mentioned today, the area is rather crowded for well, obvious reasons. Normally, at this time of the day, we would be the only ones along this boardwalk. Well, the Buda Castle quarter is more like a village trapped in a city, as I usually say, than a normal standard neighborhood of Budapest. So, well, if you wanna do some funny tasks, you may count how many portrait photos we'll win with our virtual walk. I bet that the end figure will be in the range of multiple dozen. By the way, before 1723 or 1720, the immediate proximity of the Buda Castle's bastion was rather developed in unique shape, if you wish. There were narrow streets, powder magazines, and well, the whole layout served one thing and one thing alone: the defense purposes. Due to the aerial bombardment, the tree line, which consisted of maple and chestnut trees, in the 1940s was completely destroyed, and together with the neighborhoods, reconstruction landscaping took place here back in the 1960s due to lack of proper maintenance. Well, in terms of gardening, the trees, most of the trees on the western side died, and that's why cherry trees, Japanese cherry trees, were planted on the western side of the promenade 2006 and 2009. This was the first tree line that has been planted only for its visual qualities, only for its beauty. Now, obviously, a lot of districts within the boundaries of Budapest try to have their own Japanese tree line, or if not Japanese cherry trees, then wild plum is the frequent choice of district. Well, as in the Hungarian countryside, where the main venue of socializing is either the bar or the benches along this boardwalk as well. We have several benches that normally are packed with locals and locals to this neighborhood. But today, due to the hundreds of intruders, well, socializing was cancelled for today, I believe. Too many outsiders on the benches. Well, this would be the Bitter Soup Bastion, and we are heading out to the edge to check out the views. During the summers, under this pavilion, we tend to have a bar where sundowners are served. Traditionally, the outdoor bar season starts on the 1st of May and lasts till the 30th of September. However, due to the shorter winter, the metropolitan municipality, together with some of the district municipalities, gave a special permit to outdoor bars, and some of those outdoor bars that operate in the same space year after year, they were allowed to open earlier this year. So we'll see whether if this pavilion on the bastion of the bitter soup, the name comes from the Ottoman times, actually. Bitter soup is likely the aftertaste of gunpowder. Well, from the besides the local flora, try to provide some introduction to the fauna as well. The blackbird decided to apply GDPR and left immediately after I turned my camera towards him. How dare he? And well, as in a proper village, the birthday parties are also organized outside. Weather is really nice, as I mentioned earlier. So all sorts of outdoor events are organized now along this tree line. You can see some of the off the beaten track residential buildings to our right hand side. The one that's to our immediate right, one of the few residential buildings that could not be salvaged after the Second World War, and a modern or more modern residential building was built to fill the gaps during the 70s. You may wonder how come that dogs are without a leash. Well, the Buda Castle is one of the few neighborhoods of Budapest where dogs can be walked on the streets after 5 p.m. without a leash. It's altogether a few hundred meters long, kind of perfect for a half-hour long walk. And big welcome to Mel as well. Luckily, keeps an eye on the captivating Hungary through Adam's Eyes Facebook group and could join the bandwagon. By the way, if you've missed the Santander tour from yesterday, I've already downloaded the recordings from the Zoom cloud and processed the cover photo. So later today, I will be able to post the recordings of yesterday's tour. Earlier this week, I came up to this alley and I did a silent tour. I recorded a silent tour here. So if you would like to have the same experience without my narration, then there is another version available on YouTube. And since we are in the phase of promotions, well, next week we are going to the Hungarian countryside. As per my plans, 2 times we're gonna go to Tata, likely on Monday, and on Thursday, Friday, we are scheduled to go to the Danube bend, the left bank to Zebegin and Nagymaros. Well, kindly let me know if the picture quality is good. Huh, okay, if it's not sharp, then let me attempt to do one thing. And the one thing I'll attempt to do is first things first to walk slower. So then there is more time for data processing. So while now the most important thing for 2 weeks of the year are the cherry trees, but we should not forget the fact that each and every residential building here has a basement of its own. A basement that was likely used as a bomb shelter during the Second World War, as a storage during the 18 and early 1900s, and was likely utilized during the Ottoman times as well for, well, dumping the unwanted harem ladies. Well, we have another bastion here with a statue to the hussars from Erdey, from the Transylvanian hussars. The statue aims to commemorate their heroic efforts during the previous wars. And well, from here we only have one section left till the Esztergom bastion, and that would mean that we walked along the western defense line from end to end. And well, as you can tell, it's getting darker and darker, so the street lights are also being turned on as we speak, as we walk along the tree line. And here, along the Tóth Árpád promenade, we have normal, old-fashioned street lights, but with electric bulbs that will soon be replaced with LED lights so that the city of Budapest can save more energy. I'll continue just my way. It's blocked by cutest dog ever. So soon these lights will be changed, and in the close proximity of the Buda Castle quarter, we still have old-fashioned gas lights. Gas lights that are fed with city gas. Well, I would like to point out that last year, my very last tour on Hego took place here along the blooming cherry trees. When we said temporary goodbye to each other, and the fact that we are walking along the tree line now means that our community survived 1 year without the help of Hego. So I believe that's a massive achievement of both parties involved, of you and me. So it's time for a round of applause. Very well done, all of you. Jennifer, absolutely right. We all deserve a yay. And well, the sunset. So now we can enjoy the twilight. And as I'm turning my camera to the west and to the southwest, you can see that on the further end of the horizon, the blue hour has already started. And well, with the very last tree of the 110, I say goodbye to all of you and thank you for today's time of yours. Thank you very much for the past 1 year. Thank you very much for your continuous support. Thank you to all who chipped in on Buy Me a Coffee. I hope you do enjoy the extra content that I provide to my supporters. And well, I hope to see you next week as well. I hope to see you next week as well when we start the second journey together around the sun. Thank you so much. And well, I'll I'll see you in another episode on another day next week. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Ciao, ciao.